Hey guys, welcome to NFL Divisional Weekend. Another week full of some great games here. We got 4 games to go through. I'm going to go through all 4 games, break them down, give you my opinion on them. Before we start, shout out to Biggery and Ace for giving me a call out on their channel. Was able to get some more subscribers, so welcome to the channel for those of you who are new. For those who already have been checking me out this season, you know what we've been able to do. We've been able to cash big the last couple of weeks. 10-0 my last 10 picks against the spread. I'm 53-27 on the season against the spread. So it's been a good little run that we've been on. Want to keep it rolling into this week. And subscribe, like, comment, guys. Tell your friends about the channel. We'll keep it going. This is the last big weekend, really, for the football season, sadly. So next week will be conference games, but only obviously 2 games. So won't be as much to talk about. But we got 4 fun games this weekend, and divisional rounds always it's always been one of my favorite ones to bet. It's not going to be easy. I thought last week was hard, this week looks even harder. These games, I thought the lines were put out pretty well. A lot of them all 4 games really were on key numbers. You can take a coin, flip them. It's 50-50. It just really depends on, your opinion on the game, obviously, and kind of what line you got, because it's razor thin on your advantage here in these games. So I do like Saturday or Sunday's games a little bit better than Saturday's, but we're going to go through all these games, guys. So first game, we have the Rams at the Packers. Packers -6.5. Where I have them, it's a 7. And I think it really just depends on what number you're getting, 6.5 or a 7. I think the line opened 7. People bet it pretty quickly on the Rams. Got that line down to 6.5, and it's pretty much stayed there the rest of the week. Listen, before I go into the game, if it's less than a touchdown and you get 6.5, I don't think Green Bay is a bad pick at all. I think Green Bay less than a touchdown at 6.5 is very enticing. If you get 7, like I have a 7, I think the Rams show some value there, right? You got them right on the key number. So it really just depends where you get what number you got. Now, in terms of breaking down this game, so if you watch the Rams last week against Seattle, they won, and they have been winning most of the season because of that defense. With Goff injured, we know he's starting this week. With that injured thumb, he didn't look great against Seattle. He didn't do anything. It was the defense. It was Cam Akers running the football. That's what won them the game, and that's what they're going to have to do this week. It's not going to get any easier for Goff. Broken thumb, 3 weeks removed from surgery in cold weather. It's going to be hard to grip that football. I don't see him throwing the ball downfield a whole lot in this game. It's going to be some check down passes, play action, typical Goff style football. So the Rams are going to have to rely on Cam Akers and their defense to win this football game, because if they get into a shootout, they're just not going to be able to match the Packers. Green Bay, listen, if you like Green Bay, there's a lot of reasons why you like them. One, they're coming off a bye week. They're at home. Traditionally, if you're going on trends, everything is pointing Green Bay's way. So teams that, I think there was a stat that said that teams that lost in the conference finals last year, which was Green Bay, the following year off a bye in the divisional round against the spread is like disgusting. Straight up, they're like 43-7. Against the spread, I forget the exact number. It's very high. It's well over 60%. And then if they're playing a team that upset someone in the wild card round like the Rams did, that in the next round in the divisional game, the home favorite is 21-3 against the spread. So we're always pointing Green Bay's way in this game here. That's just like saying pick Green Bay automatically. And it makes sense. We see this a lot where teams in the wild card round have an upset, go into the divisional round against a team off a bye, a superior team, and they get beat up. And it happens pretty much every year. So you better believe that tomorrow, either the Rams or the Browns or both will probably lose and not cover this game. So you got to pick which one, you feel like could cover. I do like the Rams in this game. I like them at +7. I don't love them. This game is by far, I'm a Rams fan. And, I'm just being as unbiased as I can in this spot. But this game is one that I'm least excited about because you're going up against Rodgers. I mean, Green Bay was the number one scoring offense. Rams were the number one scoring defense. But the Packers can go up and down the field at will when given time to Rodgers. They can have a 4 or 5 play drive, 2-minute drive for a touchdown easily. And, they just score sometimes at will. So there's a lot of reasons to like Green Bay. Like I said, those stats say that they're almost a money pick when teams are coming off a bye in the divisional round, going up against a team that just upset a team in the wild card round. And actually, I think that stat is specifically if the team won by at least by double digits, which the Rams did. So it's hard to go against those numbers. I don't blame you for taking Green Bay. Here's my reasons for taking the Rams. Yeah, they're going to have to run the ball. Yeah, they're going to have to play good defense. We know that. It's a matter of, are they going to be able to do that? We don't really know that. We're just predicting, right? But here's the thing. Green Bay's offensive line is banged up. And Aaron Donald's playing in this game. And even at 75, 80%, I don't know what he's at, he's better than most offensive linemen. So the Packers are without their tackles in this game. They're banged up. If the Rams can get pressure on Rodgers, I mean, that's it. They have to win the game in the trenches in this game because at the skilled position, the Packers have better quarterback. They might have better wideouts. Cooper Kupp is questionable. They're not very healthy at the wide receiver position for the Rams. And quarterback alone just is a huge advantage for Green Bay, and that can't go, unsaid because the quarterback position is the most important position in football. But I think the Rams win in the trenches, and that's what they're going to have to do. Can they get after Rodgers when they're on defense? Can they protect and create holes for Cam Akers on offense? I think they can do that. And if they can create long drives, keep Rodgers off the field, chip away, get some points. McVay is such a creative play caller. He knows LaFleur pretty well. They coached together a few years ago. I think he'll be able to drop some plays, kind of work around Goff's injury, manufacture some points, keep the clock moving, keep Rodgers off the field, and just minimize the amount of drives Green Bay has. There's no secret here. You can't turn over the football, can't give Green Bay extra possessions. I think the Rams can do that in this game. So the Rams, I think, can definitely cover. I think they can be live. It's a long shot to win this game. If they don't do those things, this will be a blowout. The Rams definitely can get blown out in this game by 2 touchdowns, 17 points. I can see that happening. But if they do the things that they have to do to give themselves a shot, this game will be very close. It's not going to be a fun game to watch. Rodgers is the most infuriating quarterback to go against because he's the MVP. He can just kind of pick and choose when he wants to score. The other thing is that Packers don't always play 60 minutes of football, so that's why I don't always have confidence laying a lot of points with the Packers. Now, teams that have had success against Green Bay this year, I was on them. Minnesota they beat Green Bay as a 7.5-point dog because they ran the ball with Dalvin Cook. Tampa Bay as well had success. So you know what you have to do. You have to be able to run. You have to be able to get after Rodgers. Rodgers, if you give him time, he's so quick at getting rid of the ball. I think it's going to be a great matchup with Devontae Adams and Jalen Ramsey. But if you get pressure on Rodgers, he's the biggest bitch in this league in terms of the quarterback position. You know he's going to complain. He gets all upset. He gets rattled very easily. That's how San Francisco had success against this Packer team last year. That's why the Packers couldn't do anything in the playoffs. That's why they were a fraudulent 12-4 team last year. This year, yeah, they're better. They are better. They have their number one scoring offense. You can't take that away from them. But if you get pressure on him, he can make mistakes. So not going to be a fun game to watch. Green Bay can definitely rout the Rams. But I like the Rams +7 in this game. We're already 10 minutes in this video, and I'm only one game in. So that one was probably the most analysis I'm going to give on the game. I'm going to go through these other ones a little bit quicker. So second game, Baltimore at Buffalo. This game is at -2.5 now for Buffalo. In this game here, if you had a 3, if you can get +3, I think Baltimore is the right side. If it's less than 3, like right now, -2.5, maybe some -2s out there, I don't think Buffalo is a bad pick. Again, another coin flip. I don't think it's really a bad pick. It's just kind of your opinion on the game. I like Baltimore +2.5. Both these teams have been covering nonstop. The Ravens have been playing playoff football, or had to play playoff football for the last 5-6 weeks to get in. Buffalo, no one's been able to stop them. They've been covering. Both these teams have been money makers. Both these teams can win in different ways. Baltimore, we know, they're a power rushing team. They want to run the ball down your throat. They don't want to get in a throwing match. Lamar Jackson didn't have a great year through the air. They want to run the ball with him and the running backs. Buffalo, they like to pass the ball. All right, so something's got to give in this game. Can Baltimore slow down the pass of Buffalo? Can Buffalo stack the box and slow down Baltimore's running attack? Buffalo has a better offense than Baltimore. Baltimore, though, they have a better defense than Buffalo. Buffalo, they were very fortunate to get their win last week against Indy. They should have lost that game. I think they were a little bit tight. They had a little bit of nerves in that game. Same with Baltimore. I think Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, they haven't won a playoff game yet. They got the monkey off their back. They can let loose a little bit in this game. I don't think weather's going to be a big factor. It's going to be cold, maybe some snow flurries. You never know in Buffalo. But listen, Baltimore wants to run the ball anyway. I think they'll have some success on the ground. I like Baltimore +2.5. I can't say picking Buffalo is a bad pick because it's not a bad pick. But I like the Ravens here. I think they can run the football. I think they can get after Josh Allen a little bit. And it's going to be, I think, a great football game. But the Ravens, to me, just have a better defense. And, if the weather does get a little bit windy and all that kind of stuff there, I think it does favor a team that likes to run the ball more than the Bills who like to air it out all the time. So give me the Ravens +2.5. Next game, this is Sunday's games. Cleveland at Kansas City. Kansas City -10. This is a big line. I'll tell you right now, I can't hate you for going on Cleveland +10 because Cleveland can score with the best of them. Cleveland can do a backdoor cover. Cleveland can run the ball with Kareem Hunt, going up against his former team in Kansas City. They got Chubb. I mean, offensively, they look great. They can put up a lot of points. Kansas City really can't stop the run. So Cleveland's strength is running. Kansas City's weakness is the rush defense. So Cleveland can exploit that for sure. They can score a lot of points. So if you want Cleveland at +10, yeah, why not? I mean, listen, this could be a shootout and you're giving me 10 points. Take it with Cleveland. I'm going with Kansas City. Very simple. Andy Reid off a bye week is almost unbeatable. Kansas City should win this game. Obviously, we're picking them against the spread. The backdoor is always going to be there. But Kansas City has not been good against the spread. They're 1-7. They haven't covered a spread since they played the Jets on November the 1st. So this team has been, at times, bored, it looks like, this season. They went 14-2, but they have been a money killer. They have not been covering spreads. So you're like, well, Ryan, what the hell are you doing, man? Take Cleveland. I mean, look how they're playing. Kansas City's not covering spreads, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? I think Kansas City, they're not going to do what they did last year in the playoffs. They fell behind against Houston. They fell behind against Tennessee. They can't always just rely on coming back. I think they'll be a bit sharper in this game. I think they'll get off to a fast start. Again, off the bye week, they're rested, they're ready to go. Cleveland gets some guys back, they get their coaches back. But last week, for me, was taking Cleveland because everything kind of set up nicely for them. I wasn't a big believer in Pittsburgh. Kansas City's miles better than Pittsburgh. Cleveland kind of won a funky game. You don't see that too often. They didn't even really play like a playoff game, it seemed. They played one quarter and then they played 3 quarters to prevent defense. You're not going to be able to play prevent defense against Kansas City. So, I think it's going to be a tough spot for Cleveland to stop Kansas City. They're healthy, they're fresh, they're hungry. I think a little bit of a hangover effect for Cleveland. A little bit. I mean, that was their Super Bowl last week. Finally getting a playoff win, winning in Pittsburgh of all places. I don't know, man. This could be a shootout. This could be a fun game. Cleveland can definitely cover this spread. But Kansas City, to me, too much power. And Cleveland's defense, they're not that great. Like neither defense is, this a top 5D. But Cleveland's defense to me is a little bit too soft, and Kansas City has way too many weapons that I think they'll be able to kind of put up points when they want to put up points. Hopefully they don't take their foot off the gas, and this should be a fun game. I mean, you look at the AFC. I mean, they got 4 quarterbacks. Baker Mayfield's the oldest guy at 25. Him, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson all in the same draft in 2018. And then you have, of course, Patrick Mahomes in the draft before that. These guys are all 25 or younger. Super young, talented quarterbacks. In the NFC, you got the complete opposite. You got a couple of 43-year-olds. You got Rodgers at 37. All those 3 guys, though, Super Bowl champions. And then you have Goff, who's, he's obviously the misfit over there, but he's at least gotten to a Super Bowl. So, 2 different stories going on there. But this is going to be an exciting game. I like Kansas City minus the 10. It's a coin flip, guys. Whoever you think, if you don't trust Kansas City to hold on and you think Cleveland's a backdoor, go with Cleveland, but I'm taking the Chiefs at minus 10. Last game, Tampa Bay at New Orleans. This number is, I think, minus 3 for the most part. Where I'm at, it's 3.5. And because of that, I'm going to Tampa Bay plus 3.5. I think the better bet, I think New Orleans on the money line is a pretty sharp bet. So if you have money line bet, I think maybe New Orleans is like minus 160. I don't think that's a bad bet. If it's less than a field goal, taking New Orleans at minus 2.5, I don't think it's a bad bet. But at 3.5, at 3, good luck. I mean, take who you want to take. At 3.5, I'm going with Tampa Bay. Because these 2 teams are even. I think this can almost be a pick-em game. So if you're going to give me 3.5 points, I'll take the road team. There's not really a home field advantage here. New Orleans beat Tampa Bay both times this season. They beat the shit out of them last time, but the first time was week 1. Antonio Brown wasn't even on the team. They were just still learning. Brady was still learning that offense. This Tampa team is a lot better than the first time they saw New Orleans. They didn't play well the last time, but and typically a team that won 2 games and plays a third time, they do pretty well the third time. The team, I think they're like 9-3 in the last 12 or something like that, where a team that's won the first 2 also wins the third. So there's a point if you like New Orleans. But I mean, defensively, look at these 2 teams. New Orleans has a very good defense. Tampa is number 1 against the run. The only thing that worries me with Tampa is their secondary. They don't have a good pass D, and you saw that last week. Heineke kind of picked Tampa apart. And with Michael Thomas back, Kamara, Breeze, they're all back together, and they've all been injured at different times this season. So it feels like New Orleans offensively has gotten healthy at the right time. That does worry me. I feel like New Orleans can pick apart Tampa's secondary. But on the other side, Tampa's loaded, and they're all coming together right now. Michael Evans, Chris Godwin, Gronk, Antonio Brown. I mean, they have just all across, the receiving core is just full of Pro Bowlers, and Brady's finally on page with all those guys. Man, I think it's going to be hard to stop Tampa as well. So I see, it could be a high-scoring game here. Both teams do similar things very well. They can both pass. They're both loaded offensively. They both play pretty good defense. It should be a great football game. So if you're giving me 3 in the hook, I'll take Tampa. And I'm going to take the clutch quarterback. Like Breeze, he's a Hall of Famer. All right. But the fact of the matter is, in the postseason, he's won and he's been only to 1 Super Bowl in like 20 years. So he's good. There's no question. He's one of the best quarterbacks to ever play. But in the playoffs, he's right around 500. Give me the guy who's been to 9 Super Bowls. Give me the guy who this time of year plays his best football and finds ways to win a game. Give me the 6-time Super Bowl champion as a 3.5-point dog. Give me Tampa Bay in this game, guys. But listen, when this line first came out, I was like, oh man, I wanted to take New Orleans. I think the sharp side is probably New Orleans, but at this number, I got to take Tampa Bay. If you took New Orleans on the money line, I think that's a good pick. So tough games, guys, across the board. There's reasons to pick both teams, and it's just like, you look at the first game. Rams play defense and run the ball. They're going to be successful. If they don't do that, and Green Bay Rodgers has time to pass, Packers blow them out. In the second game, if the Bills are able to control Lamar Jackson and make him pass the football, and the Ravens can't guard Diggs in this passing offense of Buffalo, Buffalo wins. But if the Ravens can do all those things and run the football, Baltimore wins. And then you look at the Cleveland-Kansas City game. If Kansas City comes out and plays a full 60 minutes and doesn't get bored, they should be able to beat Cleveland and cover this spread. But if Cleveland is not hungover from last week, they play some better defense than they did from last week, they can run the football and take advantage of Kansas City's weak rush defense, Cleveland's live. And then the last game I just talked about. So there's coin flips across the board. I think you have to take a favorite at some point. I like taking the dogs. The dogs went 4-2 last week. They swept Saturday last week. Baltimore won as a small favorite. I mean, really the only big cover was New Orleans last week. A favorite's covering this week. So whether you think it's going to be Green Bay or Kansas City, I'm not taking 4 dogs. So I'm going to take Kansas City to cover. I'm going to take the Rams to cover. I'm going with Baltimore and Tampa Bay. Let's see what happens. This is a tough weekend. If you go 2-2, if you can go 3-1, be happy with that. Let's kill it, guys. Good luck this weekend. This is the last big weekend of football. I'll be back next week to do some other stuff. I don't know, maybe I'll do props, but I'll break down the 2 conference games next week as well. Hit the like button, subscribe, comment, and good luck this weekend, guys.